goes wrong, the first thing you want to know is whose fault it is. Hi, my name is Brene. I am a blamer. Let me just tell you this quick story. So this is a couple years ago when I first realized the magnitude to which I blame. I'm in my house. I have on white slacks and a pink sweater set, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee in my kitchen. It's a full cup of coffee. I drop it on the tile floor. It goes into a million pieces, splashes up all over me. And a millisecond after it hit the floor, right out of my mouth is this: damn you, Steve.
I can't imagine who the fuck. I can't imagine who the fuck.
Damn you, Steve. Who is my husband? Because let me tell you how fast this works for me. So Steve plays water polo with a group of friends. And the night before, he went to go play water polo. And I said, hey, make sure you come back at 10, because I can never fall asleep until you're home. And he got back like at 10:30. And so I went to bed a little bit later than I thought. Ergo, my second cup of coffee that I probably would not be having had he come home when we discussed. Therefore, and so the rest of that story is I'm cleaning up the kitchen. Steve calls, caller ID. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, what's going on, babe? What's going on? So I'll tell you exactly what's going on. I'm cleaning up the coffee that spilled all like dial tone. Because he knows. How many of you go to that place when something bad happens, the first thing you want to know is whose fault is it?
Put the card back. I can't imagine. Touch that. It is not yours. Oh my fucking God, you auto pay. And when I say yours auto pay,
the first thing you want to know is whose fault is it? Because why? Why? Because it gives us some semblance of control. But here, if you enjoy blaming, this is where you should stick your fingers in your ear and do the na-na-na-na thing, because I'm getting ready to ruin it for you. Because here's what we know from the research. It has an inverse relationship with accountability. Accountability, by definition, is a vulnerable process. It means me calling you and saying, hey, my feelings were really hurt about this, and talking. It's not Eugene. Not Eugene. Raging. Not Eugene. Raging.
oh my fucking God,
Raging.
oh my fucking God, you're some fucking nerve when I shaved your fucking ass.
Real story, this just happened. I spoke at HubSpot last week. Okay, 13,000 people in this Boston Convention Center. It's like 10 minutes before I go on. And I look at Twitter, and this person sends this tweet out that says, why is Brene at HubSpot? Why is at Brene Brown at HubSpot 2015? And I have a total crisis of confidence. And so then all of a sudden, I'm like, who is it? Because what happens when you get backed into a corner? My brain is making up the story. So I'm like, okay, the best case scenario, attack this guy. Maybe attack him from the stage. Maybe use that as my opening. Maybe say, like, John Doe asked what I'm doing here. Well, let me tell y'all, and then I click on the tweet to figure out what his name is, and I accidentally hit the link in his tweet, and it goes to this page that says, what is Brene Brown doing at HubSpot? She's talking about vulnerability, and that's so important. Here's her TED Talk. Here are her books. Could you imagine if I would have gone out there?
What's our first reaction when somebody does something that doesn't make sense to us?
I can't imagine who the fuck.
Yes, and yell at them in a certain way. Do you know what that way is? Some sort of control. It's blame.
In this chair, we love to blame, to complain, to punish.
I can't imagine who. I can't imagine who the fuck.
Somehow, we human beings, everybody, have the idea that blame solves things. I mean, think about it. I had experience one time where two people, it was Christmas, and they were traveling a couple were traveling to see a family, and they pulled off the road to call me because they were blaming each other about who didn't put gas in the car.
20270 at 6:29 p.m. November 15th.
This is the third time that the micro SD card has been removed from The first few times I thought it may have popped out because it's very tiny, and I thought maybe somebody went over a bump and it ejected. But this time I taped it in. So obviously somebody's been purposely removing it for whatever reason, because they don't want to be tracked, because they think somebody's watching them, because they don't want people to know where they go or something like that. Put the card back if you do not want the dash cam on when you're driving. Unplug it from the cigarette lighter. There is no internal battery. We have it up for insurance purposes. I can't imagine who the fuck would take the card out 3 times, but it's not coincidence or accident anymore.
How many additional memory cards do you generally have in your possession? Wouldn't it be a simpler solution to just replace the missing card and post a polite note inquiring as to any reason someone may have removed the previous ones, explaining the insurance function?
Guys, just go get gas.